Hi, I'm Greta.
And I'm Scott. We're the board game couple, turning game night
into date nights. Hey, are you ready to lead an army to protect a castle against orcs, trolls, and goblins? Well, if so, today's game, Castle Panic, might be the right game for you.
Designed by Justin DeWitt and published by Fireside Games, Castle Panic is a co-op tower defense game. Monsters are spawned in random sections of the board and progress through each of the section's rings towards the center. If you fail to defeat the monsters by the time they get there, they'll start destroying your castle, starting with the outer walls and moving on to the towers. If you lose all 6 of your towers, you've lost the game.
On your turn, you can play cards that allow you to attack monsters in certain colored sections of the board and also in certain themed rings. It sounds super confusing, but it's actually not. For example, if you have a green knight, you can attack monsters in the green knight ring only. Thwack! However, like any good game, there are some exceptions to the rule. There's a hero card, which will let you attack monsters in any ring of that color, and the barbarian card. There's only one of these in the game, and it is the only card that can attack a monster once he gets into your castle ring. So use them wisely.
Generally speaking, you can only play with the cards that you're dealt on your turn, whether you have useful cards or not. Now, this isn't a deck builder, but you do have a couple options to switch up the cards in your hand if you have a less than ideal set. You can discard a card and draw a new one, or you can trade cards with the other players, forcing you to make some quick decisions about which members of your army are going to be needed next. You also have the option of rebuilding the outer walls of the castle if you have the supplies and the cards for it, or playing other tactics to slow the monsters down. Play as many cards as you can on your turn, because you never know what's going to happen next.
So I have somewhat mixed feelings about this game. When we first got it, it seemed impossibly hard. I remember we played a few times in a row, and I looked Scott straight in the eyes and said, we are never going to win this game.
Yeah, I remember having a feeling our first couple, we got defeated rather handily, and it was to the point where I thought the game was broken.
However, now, after a few months of owning it, the game is actually too easy.
And I'm not sure what we're doing differently. Like, there was never a eureka, we figured this game out moment. We, I think, have been holding on to the same strategy, and somehow the game is different.
Yeah, we're not really sure what happened. But the issue there is that if a game is either too hard or too easy, you lose interest in it rather quickly. I know there are many expansions for this game. We don't own them yet. We definitely plan on getting them. I think they would help. They add some features and other game mechanics to the game, shake things up a bit. But yeah, to be honest, there's not too many strategies to use, so I don't know why all of a sudden it became really easy for us to win. I also think that this game is a really perfect blend of a co-op game while also potentially having a winner for those sore losers in your group who always, obsessively count their points and need to win. Well, so how do you think about that feature?
Well, I think that we're playing the base version of the game, which does have what is known as the Master Slayer, or the ultimate winner. So the group needs to succeed, but within the group there is still one singular winner as well. And I'm not a big fan of that version of the game. It actually outlines what is called a true co-op version, in which all the kills go onto the pile, we don't keep score, we don't keep track, and I like that version, or I like the idea of that version a lot better, because a lot of times who you're able to kill is just based on pure chance of what cards you drew and where the monsters were at the time. So there's not a lot of strategizing in order to increase your points, it's just kind of what we can do at that moment. And I even think that the Master Slayer rule encourages people to try and rack up their body count rather than contributing to the whole group dynamic.
Although I agree that if you're truly playing to win, this game is no longer co-op, and you're going to lose, because if you don't work together, if you don't trade cards, if you don't kill every monster you possibly can, you will lose. But I don't really mind it so much. I don't play to be the ultimate winner. If it happens, it happens. Great. If it doesn't, great. I secretly know I'm still the winner. But what I do like about it is that if you have that friend who, like, needs to win, you can just let him win. And it's not a big deal. And secretly inside you know that you also won.
Now, so, like, that's just one of the many variants in this game. The game, actually, the rulebook comes with a couple different variants. So you have the base game where there's a Master Slayer and the whole group wins if there's one ultimate winner. You have a co-op version, which everybody wins and we don't bother counting up the body count. There's even a version inside the game where it's a versus game, where one of the people is the army, one of the people controls the monsters. And that actually, in terms of this game, I have been so disinterested in. I haven't even read the rules for it yet. This game, for me, fits a niche of a co-op game, and that's what I want it to be, so I haven't explored any of the other options.
And to be honest, it's really easy to tune out, and I mean that as a good thing. I have no desire to really change that about this game. If I'm feeling really tired, but Scott wants to play a game, this is perfect. If I feel like playing a game because we have friends over, but I don't really want to think too much, or I don't want to explain a million rules to people, this is perfect. It's super easy to tune out, it's super easy to play, and you don't really have to think about it too much.
Yeah. The only other regret I have is that we have the first one, we have Castle Panic, and they have put a couple licenses out there that I wish we had. They have a Star Trek one now, and I was like, that sounds awesome. I kind of wish I had that one. But that doesn't say anything about this game, which is a lot of fun.
All right, Scott, so are you going to give Castle Panic a date night or a fight night rating?
Date night! It's a lot of fun. It's working together. If you get rid of the Master Slayer rule, which is how I would prefer to play it, then you are working together in order to make sure that your castle is standing tall at the end. And I love when that happens, so I will say date night.
I'm also going to say date night. It's really satisfying feeling when you have your castle stand at the end, especially if you only have like one or two left. And you really end up like feeling the pressure together and you're in it together. So it adds some element of bonding. And one of the other cool things about this game that we haven't mentioned yet is you can actually buy some pretty rad accessories. We got these off of Etsy. They are 3D printed versions of the original castles.
There's before and after.
So they really add a lot of depth to the game. They make it fun and they feel real, and it's something you really want to defend. So yeah, I even though I have some mixed feelings about if it's too hard or too easy, I do really enjoy it, and I've found that it's one of the games we pull out more often.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun, and it's recommended by both of us.
If you liked this video, please make sure to click like.
And if you want to see more, make sure you click subscribe so that next time you can see us talk about